Adam and Eve made the same discovery when they found themselves banished from paradise. In short, as an outpost of heaven on earth, the garden colony of Eden displayed the culture of heaven. Culture is the culmination of all these elements: land, language, laws, constitution, moral codes, shared values, customs, and social norms. Culture defines a people. It is inherent. It comes naturally, which is exactly what God wants for His kingdom citizens. He doesn't want us to strive to obey laws written on stone tablets or laid down in books. He wants to write them on our minds, in our hearts, so that they will become second nature to us. That way, we won't have to think about living the kingdom culture. We will simply do it. By creating an outpost of heaven on earth, God wanted to establish a prototype of the original country of heaven in another territory. Planting the garden was a particularly apt way for God to accomplish His desire. First, the natural beauty, vibrant life, and abundant fruitfulness of the garden are visible reflections of equivalent characteristics of God's invisible kingdom. Heaven is a spiritual country of indescribable beauty, vibrancy, and abundance because it is the center of power for the King of the universe, who is all of those things and more, infinitely more. Second, a garden transforms the land it occupies, turning it from barren soil into a place of beauty, provision, and purpose. In the same way, the kingdom of heaven transforms the natural realm wherever the two intersect, so that the natural realm becomes a true reflection of heaven. God's big idea was to reproduce the kingdom of heaven in the visible realm by planting a kingdom outpost on the earth and populate it with kingdom citizens who would govern according to kingdom government, live according to kingdom culture, and expand kingdom influence until it filled and transformed the earth. Politically speaking, the term for this kind of governmental expansion is colonization. As a kingdom outpost on earth, Eden was a colony of heaven established by a righteous, just, and benevolent king who is compassionate, gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in love. See Psalms 103, verse 8. But Eden was also a garden, and just a kingdom's expansion by transforming their governments and culture in another place through colonization. Gardens expand through the transplantation of seedlings and cuttings onto new soil and graftings into new plant life. God's purpose was that His kingdom citizens in Eden, His steward gardeners, would expand the garden and the government and culture of His kingdom by transplanting them wherever they went. That is still God's big idea and His purpose for today. God is still in the horticulture business. All kingdom citizens share a common call and commission from their king to be royal gardeners. There are many other references throughout the Bible that also clearly express God's original intention.